Hi guys, I'm glad you're here with me. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you watching my videos. I really appreciate you subscribing. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. You there in Tennessee have been rocking and rolling with earthquakes. The largest being a magnitude 3.3 that USGS downgraded to a 3.1. According to USGS, in the last week, there's been 8 earthquakes. 3 of them you can see here along the Obion River. If you're wondering about the sounds in the background, my grandson is here, and he's playing a video game which they're making some really bizarre sounds on, and I'm doing laundry. I have a monitor that I'm using to track the recent earthquakes up over here, NBCACT, not too far from where these earthquakes are happening. Here you can see that there is 8 earthquakes within the last week. The most recent, a magnitude 3.1 that they're talking about. It was actually much higher. There was also a 2.1 today. Maybe 15 minutes or so before the 3.1. There was also a 1.1 shortly before that. A 2.6 at 3 a.m. Local time. There was also a 1.7. These are all today. A 1.5, a 1.7, and a 1.6. Normally, Tennessee, supposedly, only gets about 6 earthquakes a year. Well, you got 8 all in one day, so I guess that makes it up. You're not supposed to have any more earthquakes for the rest of the year, right? Yeah, not so. Earthquakes are increasing. This earthquake was close to about 60 miles from Memphis, and it's part of the new Madrid fault zone. EMSE even downgraded this earthquake. There was actually 2. I didn't take the first one. This is the second one, and this one actually comes in. Let me show you down here at the bottom as a magnitude 3.53. There's its seismic signature. Yeah, it rattled for a while. Look at that. This is divided into 5-second increments. So even though you didn't feel it for that long, yeah, it vibrated on for quite a while. And let's go to that other earthquake prior to it, right there. That one comes in as a magnitude 1.97. Let me bring it up so you can see it a little bit better. And we'll go to the spectrogram. There you go. So this one right here in the front, that would be the 1.97. This one here would be the 3.59. Is that what I said? And then there was one right before it at 3 a.m. Looks like actually 2. Look at that one. Let's go to the signature. Oh yeah, we got a sharp popping. And that earthquake came from the north. It's pointing north. Could it have been man-made? Makes me a little suspicious. That one would have been a magnitude 1.23. We'll go to the spectrogram. 1.23. You can see it at the bottom. And then the next one would have been a 2.80, but USGS says it was a 2.6. Let me bring it down for you. They're not reporting the first one, but they are reporting this as a 2.6, and you can see it's actually a 2.8. We got 2 more marked in red right here, 11:45. Now this is all universal time. USGS is saying that is a 1.5. But I get a magnitude 1.70, and I really shortened up the seismic signature. 1.70. Let me bring it up for you. And we'll go to that. See how I really shortened it up? Alright, the next one they have marked in red would be this one right there. At 2:58. That is supposed to be a magnitude 1.7. But I get a magnitude 1.83. Again, I shortened up the seismic signature. Yeah, 1.83. So if you think you're continually feeling rattling there and shaking, you are. And like I said, this is all within the New Madrid seismic zone. And let's take a look around. Maybe we can see some blowholes. The fault line that goes through here, or multiple fault lines, generally you cannot see those. Yeah, those are probably old blowholes from its eruption in the 1800s. Anyways, the fault line is been covered over in sediment, so it's hard to see. Here's an image of the fault zone. Sedimentary layers. There's Memphis. There's New Madrid. See it? How it goes through there? Yeah, here is another image showing Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, and Tennessee. And the red showing you the New Madrid seismic zone. Now, according to USGS, and they don't like people to panic, and it's always about the dollars, there is a high priority of a moderate earthquake in the near future, 25 to 40% of a magnitude 6 or greater within the next 50 years. So let's go over to where Memphis is at. Way down over here. Let's take a look at the road system. I believe I went through there on my trip down to Florida last year. A lot of brick buildings, and I know they're working on reinforcing these buildings. Yeah, Interstate 55, I believe I was on that. But the problem with a large earthquake in this area is there is little over a half a mile of sediment that's been deposited. And earthquakes love sediment. Yeah, it intensifies the shaking. It's over a much larger area that it's felt. A lot of areas would have liquefaction, and depending on how deep the structure was put into the bedrock, yeah, well, you know, homes aren't. Yeah, there could be quite a bit of damage from a 6.0 earthquake. You know, there's things that you can do for your home to be earthquake prepared, such as bolting everything that's heavy to the walls. Have 2 weeks of food and water and medical supplies. Have a plan where you're going to meet up with family. Phones more than likely will be down, so use text messaging. I have found from my own personal experience that when phones don't work, it'll show them ringing, but they won't connect. Text messages still do. USGS gave this earthquake an intensity level of 5. Well, I'm not surprised because they downgraded it. Felt by most people, and there was some breakage of dishes, windows, plaster, and disturbances of tall objects. Maybe they had things fall off their wall or fall over. Down by Memphis, they gave it an intensity level of 4, which means it was felt indoors by many people, outdoors by a few. Well, I'm sure most people were probably in bed, and they were woken up by it. Dishes, windows, and doors were shaking, and automobiles would have been rocking noticeably. Let's see, Jackson, intensity level 3, intensity level 4 for New Bern. New Bern, there was 10 responses there. That's the same one. I don't see the 5s. Let's see, we got 4 there, 2 there. Yeah, it was felt over a large area. I don't know who had the 5 for them to give it a 5. Did any of you have breakage of plaster, cracks in plaster, dishes, things fall out of your cupboards? Yeah, Union City, but it looks like the farthest oh, we got one over here. Chattanooga. Oh, and there's another one. Chattanooga, intensity level 4. And then we got Maryville, intensity level 2. Let me bring it out. Looks like most of the people were kind of southeast for the intensity level. Yeah. Well, it's up to 135 people sent in reports to USGS, and I'm asking you, did you have breakage? Do you have cracks in your foundation or your walls? Windows? Did anything fall off the walls or out of the cupboards? Please put all that information down below, and thank you for watching. Thank you very much for your support. I am on Patreon if you wish to support my work, and I really appreciate all of you that do. Yes, God bless you all. And as a reminder, always be prepared for a disaster. 2 weeks of food and water. Please stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.